our intention is to continue to keep the market functioning while we would keep interest rates at this level until we've got a different analysis in front of us. What else can be done? Well, lots of things, but right now, I think we're doing a tremendous amount. As I said, we're focused on the period after the crisis now. The period of the crisis is being written in real time, and some may suggest that this is using a lot of firepower. But I think that a firefighter has never been criticized for using too much water, and I think, if you like, that's where we want to make sure of it. We've got great market function, and indeed that the economy then has a great foundation for growth when activity resumes.
We have a follow-up question now from Steve Scheer. Just go ahead, Steve.
Hello, Governor. I wanted to ask, since we've talked about fiscal policy this week, we've seen more than $50 billion in stimulus by the government. We're expecting something more next week, probably for certain sectors like oil and gas. So I wanted to ask, so far, what do you think? Do you think enough has been done on the fiscal side? And how much more do you think will need to be done in the coming weeks to support the economy?
Well, Steve, I'm not going to get pinned down on numbers like that. For one thing, or whether it's enough. I mean, frankly, this is really important. We don't know how much of a contraction of activity would have occurred had there been no fiscal response. Let's agree on that. Now, there has been a significant fiscal response, as you say, but the numbers that you're using are numbers that are conditioned on assumptions about how big the contraction of activity is. So the tools that the government has announced, in particular, the tool where there's income support for people who were not even covered by the EI system before. It's a brand new fiscal tool developed in only about a week's time. That there are like close to 6 million people who presumably are, for the many of them are losing their jobs in this context and would not have been insured by EI. And now they have an income support mechanism. That's a really important safety net for the economy. Now, if let's say half of that 6 million people end up applying for that, then the program will be sized by a certain amount. But if all of those people end up applying for that program, the program will be twice as big. So the size of the fiscal response is automatically scaled to the size of the damage that the shock is doing to the economy. That's a smart design. So I'm saying I don't know how much in the end it will cost fiscally, but what I'm confident about is that it will be responsive to the underlying conditions. And that's about as good a design as you can have.